Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a get ready with me using my go-to products. And when I initially sat down and thought of what I wanted to do for this video, I thought do my full face of current favorites, full face of Holy Grail makeup, full face of, I don't know, just like more of like my all-encompassing favorites. But I thought I would do something different and show you guys the products that like I immediately go to and my eyes are drawn to as soon as I open up my drawers and decide what I want to do for makeup today. So these aren't necessarily like my all-time favorites. These are just things that I feel like are tried and true for me, things that I really love, and I'll explain to you why I love them as we get into the get ready with me. But yeah, if you're curious to see, don't forget to please subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you know when I post. I'm gonna say Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 a.m. just because I feel like I can keep up that schedule, but pending change. But yeah, anyway, just hit that bell so you know. But let's go ahead and get on into it. When I open my drawer, I feel like the Too Faced Primed and Peachy is like my go-to. And keep in mind that every day when I do my makeup, I like to rotate between products. But again, these are just things where if I don't know what I want to do, or if I'm just like hard pressed for time, I don't have time to think about, oh, what did I use yesterday? What did I use like 2 days ago? Like just for variety's sake, these are the products I will use. And I love this primer because, first of all, I love this peach line. They make my all-time favorite foundation, but it smells really nice. It's cooling, it's smoothing, it helps fill in your pores, but above all of that, it does kind of dry down to a tacky finish, so it helps latch onto the foundation as well. For foundation, I'm actually loving the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation in the shade Medium Olive. Whenever I open my drawer, I have a bunch of different foundations, and this is one that I just feel like I can always go back to time and time again. It's just a good all-around foundation. It's very buildable. It's long lasting. If you guys want to see a full in-depth review I did of this foundation, I will link that down below. I'm just going to pump some onto my sponge, kind of dab it all around my face, and then just blend it in. So how are you guys doing? I'm actually pre-recording right now because next week when you're watching this, I'll be in Los Angeles. So I'm pretty sure this will go up on Wednesday. I'll try to keep my Wednesday-Saturday schedule as I mentioned, but I'll be in Los Angeles for a week to hang out with family and just to kind of like celebrate the end of an old chapter and the start of a new one with my new job, and just to like see people because I haven't been to LA since July. But yeah, I'm excited to just like, you know, see family and see people I didn't necessarily get to see in July. So that'll be very exciting. For concealer, I'm going to go in with the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. And I know some of you may be like, oh my god, you're using Shape Tape, but this is actually like, I feel like my go-to under eye concealer. Like I've been loving the JoA concealer that I spoke about in my last favorites, but there's something about this Catrice concealer that's like super satisfying to put on. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the color, how liquidy it is, but how full coverage it is. And it's also very affordable. It's $6. I couldn't include it in my 5 under 5 because it is like $5.99, but it is such a good concealer. They only have like 3 shades, which is a really big bummer, but if you can find one of the shades to suit you, I think this is great. It smells strong, but honestly the smell isn't something that's too terrible, honestly. And I'm going to spot conceal with the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus in the shade Medium Tawny. Oh, I gotta do my mustache. Then I'm gonna go back in with the Eco Tool sponge and just blend everything out. Okay, and then to set everything down, guess what I'm gonna use? The Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder in the shade Bababanana. This is like my everyday must-have. Like, even though I'm constantly rotating through products, I absolutely need to use this powder like on a daily basis to brighten up my under eyes. I just love it. I love the effect it gives me. I love that I get to just like set my eyelids, prep for eyeshadow, or if I'm not wearing eyeshadow, I just get to like, you know, take out the creases. It's just honestly so good, and honestly such a necessary step in my routine. And then for the rest of my face, big surprise here, going in with the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores pressed powder. I love this pressed powder for the daytime, especially. Nighttime, it's not super photo friendly, and I go into it in a little bit more detail in my October favorites video, which I will link down below if you haven't seen it. But it's a good powder overall for just setting your face and for blurring your skin. It's really good. And then for bronzer, I'm going to go in with the Lottie London Tan Time Bronzer. This is like my favorite under $10 bronzer ever. Like, I'm not even joking. It's so good. It's so smooth. You can only find Lottie London at Ulta, I believe. It's not necessarily like in drugstores, but trust me when I say that it is such a smooth bronzer. It's so underrated. Like, I will open up my bronzer drawer and be like, what do I want to use today? And I will automatically want to use my Lottie London Tan Time Bronzer over my high-end bronzers. I think it's just so good. $6, price is right. I'm just gonna warm up my face. Then I'm going to contour my nose a tiny bit with that same bronzer, and then my AOA Studio E103 brush. For blush, I'm going to go in with the BareMinerals GenNude blush in the shade That Peach though. This is a blush that I feel like is so tried and true for me. Again, it's one that I feel like I can just always use and always get a flawless effect every time because it's a cream. Like, it feels very creamy when you put your finger into it, but it is such a beautiful formula that when you just apply it, like, it just gives you such a buildable, like, nice rosiness. It's just so beautiful, and it doesn't look harsh. Like, do you see that? It's just so flattering, and it gives you like a little oomph. Doesn't emphasize texture or anything. It's not a flat matte. Like, it is kind of like a satin. Like, there's life to this blush, but it doesn't look like it's like glistening or like shiny or shimmery. For highlight, I'm going to go in with the highlight I spoke about in my last. This is the H&M Illumination Powder in the shade Sunlit Gold. It is so beautiful. Again, I went into detail in that video, so I do not want to talk your ear off about this, but it is so good. I just like to wiggle my brush, tap it off once, and look how buildable that is. Like, oh, it's so good. This shade will be a little too dark for you if you are very light in skin tone, as it is a gold shade, but they do have another shade, I believe. When I went in store and I bought this one, I did see another shade, but this is just the one that I picked up. Look at that. Oh. All right, moving on to brows. I am going to fill them in with, of course, my e.l.f. Instant Brow Lift. This isn't the most long-lasting or long-wearing brow pencil, but in my opinion, it's so foolproof, so easy to apply. If you're not someone who really likes to fill in their brows like super perfectly every single day, this is the pencil for you. It is so good. $2, literally $2. So I know my favorite brow gel that I've spoken about in the past is the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara that has like fibers, and I really, really like it. But recently, I have been grabbing and gravitating towards the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Mascara. This is in the shade Nothing But Brunette. It's so good. It doesn't have those fibers like the NYX does. So if you're not into fibers, maybe this is what you would prefer. But I love how it goes on so smooth. It just adds that hint of color, but it does keep your brows like in place. It's so good, and I think it's like $5 or something like that. For eyeshadow, I feel like for my go-to looks, I like something that can give me everything. So I'm going to take the Jaclyn Hill palette, the original one by Morphe, not the Vault situation she did. And it just has so many different colors. I've done like one tutorial on this before, so I will link that down below if you want to see me use the greens. But I'm just going to do a very simple look, and I like that you can get simple looks out of this and also like more fun, colorful looks, obviously, with this palette. So yeah, I'm going to take this shade right here. I believe this is called Silk Cream. I'm reading it from the back. Silk Cream. And I'm just going to take a large shader brush. This is a great shade for the transition, and I'm just going to buff that kind of in my crease sloppily, but also all over the lid. I'm going to take this brown right here. I believe this is called Pooter, and I'm just going to, with a smaller definition brush, kind of put this deeper into my crease and also my outer V. And these shadows actually blend really well. I know there's a lot of controversy over the vault. I personally do not own the vault because of all the controversy, but this palette is actually really, really good. It blends really well, and it's very, very pigmented. So if you're looking to purchase one of her products, I would say go with this one, the OG palette, instead of the vault. But that's just my opinion. Okay, all over the lid, I'm going to go in with this kind of like cool toned shade right here. It's like a shimmer shade next to the royal blue, and this one is called Hustle right here. And I'm just going to, with my finger, put this all over my lid, just for like a nice pop. To go back in with this shade right here called Pooter, and I'm just going to blend out those edges. Again, fluffing them messily in the outer corner, but also I'm going to go in with a deeper outer corner shade. I'm going to go into this shade right here called Mocha. It's just like a deep matte brown, and I'm just going to bring that on my outer V. It's very pigmented. You can see it has like some kick up. It's a soft eyeshadow. Just going to kind of pat that in the outer corner. Once again, going back into that initial shade Silk Cream and just blending out the edges. Going to go back into that lid shade and just pop a little bit more on, since we blended some of that away, but I'm not bringing it very far past the middle. I'm just kind of concentrating this in the center of the lid. Okay, and then on a tight definer brush, I'm going to go back in to Mocha, that dark brown that we used. And I'm just going to run this along my upper lash line, just stamping that really close to kind of act as liner because I don't want to go in with liner. Also going to do the same on my lower lash line, stamping that super close to the lash line because then we're going to blow it out. Okay, now taking my Morphe M506, I'm going to take the shade Silk Cream that we used in our transition, and to just kind of tie everything together, I'm just going to blow this along the lower lash line so it doesn't look super harsh down there. Okay, crap, I don't know how long my mic fell down. I'm so sorry about that. If my audio was wonky, that was why. Okay, and then to highlight the brow bone, I'm going to take this shade right here. It's called Enlight, and I'm going to highlight the brow bone as well as the inner corner. It's like a really pretty satin shade. Okay, and that is it for the eyeshadow. I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes, of course, with my only lash curler I own, the Tarte lash curler. And then I'm going to apply my Essence Volume Boost Lash Primer. And then for mascara, my go-to lately has been the False Lashes mascara, also by Essence. This is the Extreme Volume and Curl edition. Just gonna pop some of this on. Okay, and then for lips, my go-to lipstick definitely has been the H&M cream lipstick in Wellies and Tweed. It's just such a beautiful, flattering brownie nude. I love it. Such a creamy formula. It's not a matte lipstick at all. It is a cream, true cream finish. Okay, and then last but not least, to set the face, I have just been loving the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. It's not a setting spray that keeps you matte all day, but it does help just like let everything just like sink into the skin and look less powdery. So I love that setting spray just whenever, honestly, if I'm going out, if I'm going out during the day, it just helps lock everything in and it gives you such a natural skin-like finish, and the mist is awesome. Alright everyone, and that is it for today's video of my full face get ready with me of current like go-to products. This is not necessarily my go-to look, but I just love the eyeshadow palette for the versatility. I've been reaching for that lately, the blush, the bronzer, everything that you've seen today is what I typically go for if I'm like, ooh, I don't know what I want to wear, but I want to look good. So yeah, everything will be listed in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did, and hopefully I will see you in my next one. Mwah! Bye!